Hey everyone, I'm Connor, an iOS developer. In today's video, I am going through day 12 of building an iOS app with AI in just 14 days. Today is focused on the App Store screenshots and listing, getting our app prepared and submitted to the App Store. In this video series, we are building an AI journal app called Whisper. By the end of this video, you'll have a comprehensive overview of how AI can help you with your App Store screenshots and App Store listing, and be ready to submit to the App Store. So as a quick recap, like I said, our app is Whisper, this AI journaling app where our primary mode of entry is using your voice. We use AI to detect a mood from those journal entries that is assigned to it. And you can see your moods and track. You can see your past journal entries and build the habit of actually keeping a journal. So to get started, we need to figure out what makes an app good App Store screenshot. So I've gone to ChatGPT and done deep research on what makes a good App Store screenshot and gave it some specifications about what we're looking for. For our app specifically, it came back with this big long report of what makes great App Store screenshots in 2025. And then I asked it to specify what screenshots we should use for our app, Whisper. The TLDR of this is that first 3 screenshots do 80% of the work. So we need to lead with a benefit, short punchy captions, show the real device with the frame around it, and use consistency throughout and test different variations. So it gave us an example of 8 screenshots that we can use. We're not going to do all of them. We're just going to do a couple to start to kind of check this box and just do a first run of this. So we need a hook, so a core promise. So this first screenshot that we're going to create is basically the core promise of this app, which you speak and feel lighter because journaling makes you feel better. The visual is going to be showing Whisper's recording screen with animated looking waveform. These are just examples and we'll tweak based on our actual app. And then we want a one tap start talking, the same screen right after the tap, so showing the app's listening. And then we want to show an outcome or relief. So your words perfectly captured, the transcribe entry view with clean paragraphs, and title auto suggestion, which we don't have yet, but that's a great idea to add. And then maybe some showing the mood, right? And then our streak screen is kind of where we'll leave that. We don't have trends. We don't have notifications yet and all this stuff. So this is great examples, and this is where we're going to start. So one pro tip that I think is really helpful for when you're using AI is I've asked Claude to create mock data for us. So I just go into Claude and say, hey, can you create some mock data so that we can create our App Store screenshots and the app looks like it's well used. We want to be able to showcase the functionality. So it did that for us automatically. It created some journal entries, showed us our recent ones. We can look at the calendar and see we have moods tracked for the past couple weeks. And then we can see stats that our streak is looking good. So the users can see what progress looks like in our app. So this is like a screen that we're going to want to take a capture of. This is a fresh run of the app, so it's going to ask for permissions, which is a good test, but it won't do that normally. This is a test journal entry where we feel really excited to get this submitted to the App Store. Right, we'll probably want a screenshot of this, a screenshot of this part, and then that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what we're aiming for, is just screenshots of those things. Just to show you, we do have mock data in the app ready to go. So the first thing you're going to do is just literally click that. We've got one screenshot. I'm going to actually delete this entry because this is not a test one. So I'm going to redo that. So take a screenshot. We'll put that there for now. Give an example of what that looks like. We're going to put that there, just kind of covering our bases here. We'll definitely get a screenshot of the calendar, screenshot of the stats screen, or the streak screen. Make this up a little bit. Then we want to show the recording. Whoops. And then we want to, this is test journal entry. So I'm going to say, today I went for a long bike ride and it made me feel much better than I was feeling yesterday. Okay. So we've got that in there. We're going to want to showcase this potentially. So we'll grab a screenshot, save the entry. So we've got a good comprehensive walkthrough of our app, but we're going to showcase in screenshots. So to actually create my screenshots, I use an app called Picasso. We're going to create a new document and we're just doing iPhone. and then we'll select a template. I'm going to choose this template for our app. The basic text, what did ChatGPT suggest? So if we go to our chat in ChatGPT to see what it suggested, it gave us the typography here. Use SF Pro, semi-bold, color, dark gradient background, navy to indigo, and amber as an accent on the mic, which doesn't really apply to us actually. Okay, but we're going to go with that theme. So we're going to go back to Picasso, basic background. Actually, we'll just use that for now. We'll just use the default. We're going to get these in here and then we can tweak them. But I will change the font to SF Pro. Let's see. Yeah, SF Pro. You can link App Store Connect to this, which is really useful, but I am going to set that up later. You can also do localization inside Picasso, which is really nice and helpful. I'm just on the free version just to get this kind of taken care of. So it needs our screenshots. So we're going to go to each screen and add our screenshots in. So I'm going to go and throw that in there, right? So it's really nice because it adds the device bezels for you. And this one, it says we should do speak and feel lighter. So we'll change that. Speak, feel lighter. Okay, so we've got that one. Then we need, what's next? Journal by voice. So I'm going to put that in here. I got to open this. Drop that in to show the journal by voice. And this one should say journal by. So we're just going to make that change really quick. Journal by voice. Let's see. I'm going to make the font slightly smaller. No, actually the width just a bit larger so that just fits on one line. Looks like I'm just going to go for consistency here, right? So we're going to add a period at the end of this. Make the width just a little bit wider so it fits. I actually don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to take the period out. Done. Then our next one, we want back to ChatGPT, the outcome, so the transcribed entry view, which is, where did that go? Oh, I didn't do one of the transcribed entry view. So I'm going to go do a test one. Okay, so I just gone, added that really quick so we could get a screenshot of that view. I'm going to bring this into here and I'm going to say your words perfectly captured, your word, duplicate that. We're going to increase that width so it fits on one line. Okay, so now I've got that and tag your mood. So that's going to be the next one. I'm going to throw that in here just to see how it looks and then we'll decide what we want to do with that. So that's going to be tag your mood. And then the next one is build the habit. So I actually don't like this format personally. At least for our app purposes, it doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to duplicate this one and just move it over. So we keep our up-down cadence going. And then I'll just change this image to the streak image. And this one says build a habit. Okay, that actually is going to look better online. So we'll just go ahead and delete that. All right, so now we've got apps for screenshots. That's done. Pretty simple. The core essence of this, right, is to show the value of the app, right, as the formula that ChatGPT told us to do. We want to let the first three screenshots do 80% of the work, lead with a benefit, and kind of capture their attentions, right? We've got to hook them into what our app is. So speak lighter, feel lighter. That's the hook of this, or speak and feel lighter. Feel lighter, journal by voice, your words perfectly captured, tag your mood, build a habit. That is exactly what our app is aiming to do, and that's why they should download it. We've showcased that value very clearly. Okay, what we're going to do is, now that we've got our screenshots together and we've got the flow of how we want these to look, the next best thing is to spend some time on the App Store and look for other apps that basically are your competitors and see what the top ranking apps are and kind of copy their screenshots because that's what's working, that's what's converting, right? So when you send someone to your app and they see your App Store page, we want to copy a winning format here of what screenshots are actually getting downloads. So here I am on this article by the Rotato app. And this is an App Store screenshot examples and inspiration. So this is just one of many things you can do to get inspiration for your screenshots. We're going to look through this article briefly to get some inspiration from screenshots. Targets are very simple and basic. Nike's got a lot of effort here with a lot of visual things going on. They don't need to be overly complicated, right? They just need to showcase the value of the app. This website, Screenshots Club, is also a really great reference for apps for screenshots to see what's working really well. We have a lifestyle app, so we can check out that. Like this is Hinge or Amazon. You can see none of these are super complicated, right? They just showcase what the value of the app is. So Starcross, who's the one truly meant for you? Astrology can answer that, right? So our hook, This is how we solve the problem, and this is how easy it is. That's exactly what we're doing with our screenshot hook, how we solve the problem, and what the benefit is, how easy it is. Even Luma, really popular events app, very simple, easy screenshots. So some key things about screenshots are minimal text. You just want a few words to capture and show the value. And you want a very clear display of the app and how it solves that problem. So even here, they've got like their buttons highlighted and enlarged, which is not necessary, but helpful. Spoil me, not bad, but even in my opinion, there's a little bit too many words going on for their screenshot. Bumble is really good screenshots. Find your person, start the chat, stand out more, super simple, nothing too complex here, right? So you can see the winning formula. It's just simple and showcase the value. You can do fancy stuff like this. I think I read something where these aren't performing as well as they used to, so you can just stick with the one-page things. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Simple screenshots win. They just need to communicate the value of your app clearly, and your app's design can do a lot of the heavy lifting here. Social proof is really helpful. If you've got lots of reviews or awards or something, like notable things that are worth sharing, then that's really helpful. Even Claude screenshots are super simple. Opal's a really popular app. Like these are great as well. So just spend some time digging through these screenshots, taking inspiration from them, seeing what works, seeing what fits for your app, but you don't need to overcomplicate this. So we're going to keep ours simple. I decided I don't like the teal. Even just the white is kind of clean. Let's see how that looks with like a text. I'm not loving our font, I think I'm realizing. So let's do some other options. See what looks good here. Maybe this Arial black, a little bit more bold, or this here. So you're just gonna want to play around with different options of fonts and see what's working. Like I said, you really don't need to overcomplicate this. Like you just need to communicate the value of your app and grab their attention. Okay. So messed around with these for a little bit, and I decided to match the blue color that we're using in our app as primary and then just use white words on that. I noticed one thing from looking at these screenshot examples is most of these apps are in light mode. We built a dark mode-esque app just for the calm kind of journal mood uplifting feel, like no pressure to journal kind of thing. And so that's the design choice we made. So Perplexity is a good example of dark mode screenshots, why I ended up going with the blue primarily. They've even got a gradient here when you're designing your app. Here's another good dark mode example, but most of these are in light mode. So that may be something to consider when designing your app, is that it seems like light mode is the winning formula for a lot of these popular apps. Now we've got our screenshots and we feel pretty good about them. We're going to export them just to the file system, save these really quick. Now we have exported our screenshots successfully. So the next big portion of this is going to App Store Connect and actually uploading these. Here we are on our App Store page that we created in a different video for our screenshots. So we're going to go ahead and choose the files. So back to where we had those and get those screenshots uploaded. Okay, so once you've got those uploaded in App Store Connect, make sure you just arrange them in the right way so that they are as you expect. Now, these are successfully in App Store Connect and saved. They made a recent change where you just need the 6.5 inch display options, which is really, really helpful. You used to have to do all kinds of stuff to get these uploaded, and it was really annoying to have to do multiple sizes. But now we can just use a 6.5 inch display screenshots, and that will be kind of the universal thing that we do. And that's it. Now your App Store screenshots are good to go. The next thing for preparing for the App Store is filling out all this metadata. So you're going to want to do promotional text, description, your keywords for App Store optimization, and get everything polished and ready so that your app starts ranking for keywords and appearing on the App Store. We're going to leave it there for today because the screenshots do take a bit of time, and I want you to be thorough do your research, tweak different things, test different versions, see what you like and what works. But remember to showcase the value of your app, engage your users, show the core problem that you're solving, kind of hook them, grab their interest, and display the value of what your app has to offer. If you're interested in more detailed breakdowns and thorough walkthroughs of going from idea to App Store in just 14 days, check out my community App Launch Club. Inside, I've got the full roadmap and breakdown, working on much more resources coming soon to give you everything you need to become a successful indie iOS developer, all with AI, no coding experience required. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.